Hey all, it's Coolledge here, and I'm going to be talking about some of the expectations that I had from FIFA 12 to FIFA 13, and pretty much how that's been smashed to pieces by EA. Now, the first thing I'm going to talk about is the FIFA 12 itself, before I go straight into FIFA 13. Now, FIFA 12, it was a good game. It's something that I enjoyed very much, especially compared to previous versions like FIFA 11. It was a very fluid game. It looked pretty. You had the new FIFA physics engines, which was, something quite good. However, there were things that needed changing in the games for the next version. For example, the skill dribble, that was something that was very prominent and very heavily used in FIFA 12. What you used is the back two triggers, step to the side, push forward, and with someone like Cristiano Ronaldo, you've gone flying past the defender, and it's almost impossible to stop unless you know how to do it. Although it was very hard to master the skill dribble, it was something that was overused, and once everyone learned how to do it, that was it, unless you knew how to stop it. You also had the bad refereeing in the game. You've run into somebody, you've got the ball, you run into somebody, you bounce off each other, and they've got the free kick. And this was very frustrating, especially when you're 1-0 down, it's the 89th minute, you want to run, and you've just run into them. They've obstructed you, and to stop you from getting to the goal. You could have got that equaliser, but it's their free kick, and they've just whacked it up the field, and you can't do a thing about it. It's definitely something that needed changing in the game. I mean, in terms of other things that was wrong with FIFA 12, the physics engine was something that was great. It was really enjoyable to see the players fall over in different ways instead of the same way every single time. However, there was the physics engine bug. Sometimes when you ran into each other the wrong way, you bounce off each other and literally go flying to the other end of the screen. Obviously not very realistic, funny maybe, but not very realistic, especially when the other player seems to get up and just run on with the ball and probably pass it into the back of your net. However, I got pretty much excited for FIFA 13. I heard a lot of good things about it. We had the first touch, which allowed the player to have some control over the ball. They'll be able to do more with the ball rather than have the standard run around in circles. You was able to control the ball itself as the player. Now the FIFA 12, they brought in the more angles with the way you could control the ball. So FIFA 13, they brought in even more stuff to do with the ball. So that was something that I was looking forward to, and was very exciting. And obviously another thing that was in FIFA 13 that I heard about was the slowness of the game. FIFA 12 was very fast, and FIFA 13 was to be very slow, able to slow down the game and play football, and that was something I was definitely looking forward to. However, what was being said and what actually happens are usually two different things. Now the first thought is that is something that has been brought in. It's great. It's brilliant when you can use it properly. You'll be able to do drag backs easier. Play around like Cristiano Ronaldo does. In your own feet, and just walk around players, unless they know how to defend it. That is something that is great, as I say. But there are other flaws with it. For example, you pass it to a player who's running, and he's going to kick that 10 yards in front, and it's just not realistic. It's not something that's good in the game. You're running. You want to carry on running. You don't want to have to slow down in order to collect the ball and then carry on running. And it's just a bit disappointing that things like that. Okay, it does happen now and again, but you don't expect to see that happening to the likes of Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo. It's just not something that would happen as much. You've also, your slow paceness of the game. Now that is something that definitely happened. However, I have heard it was a lot slower than the final version they brought out. For some reason, they brought it a bit faster paced, and I'm not sure why that is, or what how much faster they made it. But it is a bit disappointing, as it is still quite a fast game. mind you, in terms of the Ultimate Team players, they love it a lot faster, so maybe that is the reason why the Ultimate Team players kicked off about it being slowed. Maybe they thought it was already slow enough, so maybe that's why it was sped up a bit more. And obviously, you know, the things that are actually happening now, in terms of FIFA 13, you've still got graphics engine in there. You've got that increased graphics engine. Now they've made a lot of fixes on that, but it's still not great. You still get players running into each other. You still get players occasionally flying on the other side of the pitch, and it's just a bit disappointing that hasn't been fixed in this version. A lot of people would have thought it would have been, me myself included in that. It's just something that EA haven't seemed to manage to fix this time around. So hopefully in FIFA 14 that is something that will be fixed. I pretty much expect that to be fixed as one of my top priorities. I don't want to see players running into each other. It's not something that happens. Okay, it happens maybe once in a blue moon rising. Sorry, that was a bad pun. But yeah, you still get the players flying all over the place, and hopefully that is something that fixed. Another thing you've got in FIFA 13 happening is the deflections. Now this is something that is a bit more realistic in terms of, you know, you can actually score from deflections now, but it seems to happen far too often. The deflections seem to curl forever, continuously going. And it's I imagine if there was no goal or no stadium there to stop it, eventually it would do a 360. It kills that much. It spins incredibly fast, and there seems to be a lot of power on it. And it's just something that needs to be touched up a bit, in my opinion. Now, the last thing that is my main gripe with this game, the keepers. Now they've had a lot of improvements. They are a lot better in this game. However, if you kick the ball as soft as you want, there is about an 80% chance the keeper is going to parry it. Now, that isn't realistic. It's not good at any chance, because every single time they do parry it, it seems to go in the opponent's feet, and they've got to pass into the back of the net without even trying. However, if you do hit it as hard as you want, they seem to catch it, and it's why? How have you caught that? It's not even possible. You cannot catch that ball. If you did catch it, it would probably break your wrist. It would probably pass you into the back of the net with the ball. It's not right. And EA need to touch that up for the next version. Again, this being my opinion. Now, the most frustrating thing about this version is that it has been very, very buggy in terms of the freezing in the arena, it freezing when you score a goal, EA servers logging you out after every game, invisible balls, linesmen running on the pitch. There's too many bugs. Come on, EA, you've been doing this since 94, 95. There shouldn't be this many bugs, especially on a released version. You've got people out there who beta test it, you've got people out there who test it happily, they come to you and test it. I'm sure this had been mentioned. I mentioned it even before you released the game when I bought the EA early pass, the early season pass. I mentioned it a week before because it happened the very first game I played. You can't release a game with it freezing, especially with you linking up with Virgin Gaming. And you're playing Virgin Gaming for money, you put your money into that, and it freezes when you score a goal. You've got to restart the game. It's not good. It's not good at all, and it's something that should be fixed. We're in November now. It's nearly been 2 months since the game's been out, and it's still happening. It's just not good enough at all, especially with it freezing while you're playing. Freezing in the arena doesn't seem to happen anymore. That is one that is pretty much fixed. But the game crashing when you score goals still happens. EA servers logging out, that still happens occasionally. I'm not sure whether it's when they are busy peak times, but that still happens. Again, that is something that needs to be looked at. It's just not happening. I'm sure it's been mentioned a lot of times. Invisible ball. Now, this is one that never happened until a couple of weeks ago, but it has been a couple of weeks and it's still in the game. Now, I experienced this the first time today in this video that you're seeing now, and I was astonished. it seems as if I was the person who couldn't see the ball, but they could. I could not see, how I could play this game. But if I was to leave, I would have got a did not finish ratio, percentage, whatever you want to call it, and it would have ruined my reputation a little bit. So I carried on playing and I wanted to see if I could try win, but this game isn't going very well. 3-0 down as I speak. And no, it's something that how can you remove the ball from game? How can you make an invisible ball? Come on, it's not that hard. And today in this game as well, I had a linesman run on the pitch just before the second goal. It was the linesman ran on the pitch. He seemed to run to the penalty spot and then ran back. I don't know if he was bored and wanted a little jog or what, but what's the linesman doing on the pitch? Surely it is not that hard to put a boundary on so that they can never be on the pitch. That is, come on, EA. Simple stuff. Simple stuff. I mean, FIFA 13 is probably my favourite game. I love it and I hate it. There's so many things right with it, yet there's so many things wrong with it. I'm not, credit to EA. It is a good game. I've really enjoyed it so far. But there's just these minor things that do my head in. Now, what I want to see in the future versions of the game is better support. We've seen this version that the support has been appalling. We just don't seem to be getting any help when it comes to the crashing of the game, the invisible ball, or anything like that as such. It seems to be all focused on the Ultimate Team players. Just need a bit more support from EA to make it better for us. Also, what I want to see is the top tier players listen to a bit more now. The top tier players are people who know everything about the game, every little hole, every skill move, everything, and they'll be able to make you aware of any bugs and improve the game for you. Now, the last thing and the main thing I really want to see is spectator mode. Now, every game like League of Legends, Counter-Strike Source, you got StarCraft, they've all got spectator modes, and we've seen it with KSI's videos. He gets 2,000 people watching him live stream, and he could, 2,000 people, that's a lot of people. Surely, a lot of 2,000 people watching him play FIFA. I'd love to watch my mates play FIFA. I'd love to watch the pros play FIFA online. You'd be able to, watch them play tournaments. It's something that I do feel is needed within the game. It can link the competitive players to the casual players. It can help casual players learn new tricks by watching the professional players. One thing when I used to play Counter-Strike is I used to learn by watching the professional players how they used to do certain things, and I used to adapt that into my game. So a spectator mode is needed by EA, and I was informed it is on the list, but it's at the bottom of the list. And once all the features have been added, maybe we'll get it one day. But yeah, it's definitely something I would like to see in the game. Something where we'll be able to watch other players play a match, and spectate, commentate, and do more videos about it. It's just a bit more, variety. Maybe you don't want to play. Maybe you're not having a good day. You don't want to play anymore, but you want to watch some FIFA. Just implement it into the game. Surely it can't be that hard to implement. I'm not a programmer as yet, but surely it's something that can be done. And that's pretty much it. That is what I was expecting from FIFA 12 and FIFA 13. But I'm sorry if you thought this is one big rant. I don't usually do a lot of ranting. Personally, I find ranting is not something I like to do in public. I am quite a quiet person, unless you really know me. But yeah, it's just, I just feel this needed picking up on. It needed speaking out, and I don't know if any of you lot feel the same. Maybe you want to comment and let me know if you feel the same. But yeah, if you have enjoyed this, please do like, comment, subscribe, and maybe follow me on Twitter. I'd like to know what you guys are thinking about the game. Give me a message and let me know. Is there anything that you'd like me to talk about? Is there anything you'd like me to tell me what you want, guys. That's what I need to know. So yeah, like, subscribe, follow, and peace out.